You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Common sense, comedy, and freedom. You found the defenders of American exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Yay!
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Nope.
No?
I just realized we started doing that last time.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We're not doing it
Not
every week.
Not again. That'd be bad.
Oh, welcome to the show, folks. And before any of you say anything, yes, we know on Facebook it's being sketchy.
That's...
Shush. We'll deal with it.
We're expecting that now. Actually, I think Facebook is just like trying to...
Yeah, Facebook's being a
stuff.
jerk right now. But
That's
don't worry, it'll be re-edited and put back up on. A better video will be put up later if you want to. Yeah, if you don't want to miss our gorgeous radio faces.
Right.
So, there's that. But anyway, we have a great show planned for y'all tonight. So it is big time stuff. One of the things that we kind of dropped at last minute, apparently there's a bill that has been passed.
Yes.
Not passed. It passed Congress.
It passed the House.
Same, yes.
Well, it's not really past the House. It's kind of like they've introduced. It's introduced in the House.
All right.
It's introduced in the House.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. It is introduced, which is not going to bode well.
No, and not for any of us.
So
it has 120-something sponsors.
Yeah. So this is really not good. It is. No. What is this called? Scroll that down a little bit. Other way. Okay. It's HR. Okay, HR. I wanted to call it HS. It's HR 5087 is the actual title of the bill. If y'all want to look it up later, if not, we have it in the comment section or in the description.
Yep.
You can click on it, take a look at it. Like you said, it's got about 120 different people who have sponsored this thing. And basically, this is a bill to regulate the importation, manufacture, possession, sale, or transfer of assault weapons and for other purposes.
I like that they added the other purposes.
Yeah, I did too.
So basically, it's
trying to cover all their bases, I guess, right?
Yeah, they're going to ban all weapons. All weapons are going to be banned. That's what's
pretty much. In a nutshell, it ends up they're trying to get rid of anything and everything that is not that takes a clip and that is any form of a rifle whatsoever. I mean, down to, I believe that the way it balances out is I think the only thing is that if this thing passes, the only thing that civilians will be allowed to carry and possess will be shotguns and up to 10-round revolvers.
Yes.
Basically. So this is going to be a really goofy version of the Wild West in the end.
It'll be a really weird Wild West. I mean, maybe have a sawed-off, but then again, that's illegal anyway.
Well, yeah, and again, it's just the beginning. If they get this thing passed.
By the way, this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, the beginning of the end.
The beginning was, the past 150 years where they've gone through and they've given us over 200,000 regulations on guns.
Since, 1970.
1970s.
Or when they did this, stop doing the census on it.
Doing the census on that, yeah.
But yeah, we're looking at the bill. It literally goes down the list of everything. Any gun... what is that? The SR-15 King's Armament, the Lancer L-15 rifles.
Yeah,
you're looking.
So it goes down the list.
Pistol grips, folding, telescoping, or detachable stocks.
A threaded barrel, a barrel shroud. Let's see, telescoping or folding detachable stocks.
Yeah. Fixed magazine with a capacity to accept more than 5 rounds. The ability.
A forward grip.
Yes.
A grenade launcher.
Or a rocket launcher. I'm sorry.
Any shotgun?
Hold on. No, wait.
with-
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
That's the one that actually gets my gall.
Which one?
The grenade launcher or rocket launcher.
What? What's the problem?
Well, because that means that I have to get rid of my rocket launcher.
No. Rocket launcher attachment.
Oh, so I can still. Gotcha. Okay, so my surface to air that I carry around,
Yeah, that one.
my little stinger on my shoulder. Okay, I can still
You're
carry.
fine
Okay,
there.
we're
You're
good.
fine, yeah.
All right, now I got worried there for a moment.
No.
Okay.
Any shotgun with a revolving cylinder.
Oh my God.
All of the
All AK
rifle-
types, including the following: AK-47s, AK-47S, 74s. Oh dear Lord!
The Mahdi, the Norenko, the Polytech,
A10, AR-10s, AR-15s, Alexander Arms,
Armalite M15, the Rex, the Rex 7, the AR-70,
Berettas.
the Black Rain, the Diamondback, the Devil Dog, the Core Rifle Systems, the Heckler, the High Standard HSA, the Jesse James Nomad.
I'm waiting for him to turn around and say something stupid like the what was the little Daisy repeater?
Oh gosh.
Sig Sauers, everything. I mean,
Hours, yes.
it's
Why? Oh, there you go. The Berettas, the Setma, the Daewoo. The Daewoo. I thought Daewoo was a vehicle.
it is it is the okay, right here.
High point
carbine. Anybody knows anything. Anything by high point is you might as well just throw the gun at them. In all fairness, I used to have a high point 9mm.
Really? Is it that bad?
I could throw the bullets better than this thing. I mean, if I had the choice between a rock
and a hard place
and a high point, I might take the high point, but only because it throws a rock a little bit farther.
All Thompson rifles.
Which
just all Thompson rifles.
Well, and that's the Uzi mini carbine. Okay,
really?
that means you have to get rid of your Uzi.
Oh, why'd you have to say that?
Well, you can't have it.
But why
it says it right there. They're going to take it away.
You didn't need to mention that.
Oh.
Why are you?
We'll edit that out. We'll take that out in
Thank you.
post-production. Don't worry.
The Krinkov pistol.
That's just...
Krinkov.
See,
The Centurion.
all AR-15
Chiappa.
types, including the followings, and it goes down into pistols.
Yeah.
See, they're covering their bases.
All the following shotguns. Duplicates, variants, and altered facsimiles that are capable of any such of these weapons. They go through the striker, the streets. There's something called a street sweeper?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You need to look that up.
I need to.
You need to look that up.
I think I might go get
What makes me giggle is this one right here. Go back up.
Which one?
The Doric lethal shotgun, which is great compared to the
Non-lethal?
non-lethal one.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that like one of the ones that shoot the beanbag?
Maybe. All belt-fed semi-automatic firearms.
Wait, I thought belt fed was already like not a good thing. That was already a thing that would spin.
Yeah, that you have to go through extra scrutiny and you have to have like extra.
You have to like have a license to carry something.
Well, no, not even a license to carry. Like you have to be like severely vetted, like almost like an arms dealer type.
You have to have like super top secret clearance, basically. Yeah.
So yeah, super mega alpha.
Top secret clearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Let's see. The term large capacity ammunition feeding device.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Does
Related definitions. There's all kinds of. This seriously has got so many stuff. The term fixed magazine means an ammunition feeding device that permanently fixed to the firearm in such a manner that it cannot be removed without disassembly of the firearm.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right.
Sorry, that was just a random read. It caught my eye, and I thought more to it.
All
but
right.
still.
So you go through everything,
and they go through each of the definitions
then it has an appendix
of
and
all the weapons. Like seriously, this is. And
it
it's
goes through everything.
Again, this is
We
linked.
could spend the entire hour just listing out all of the guns that it says you can no longer have.
The link, so you guys can see this, and please do take a moment.
It's at congress.gov.
Look at this. It's in the descriptions.
HR 5087.
You need to get with your representatives and say no.
Now,
and you need to get it quick.
yes. Now, so here's a funny thing. I posted this on my personal Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
This just the Congress thing.
So how was it? Was it received well?
It was. I think it had some well-received comments. One of which was, more of a left-leaning person, I might say.
Okay.
And their comment to me was, in essence, I don't want to read it because I don't want to pull it up, but in essence, it was, what does it matter? The semi-automatic toy guns that we have today are nothing in comparison to the government, their drones, their weapons, their missiles, their everything. And so if by comparison you're saying that the Second Amendment is going to be taken away, what does it matter anymore anyway, considering they already have better, stronger, higher firepower than we do? So why are you complaining, is what his point.
Well, then I would then turn around and say, well, if that is all entirely true, then why are you arguing?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any...
then why are you worried about it? His question is, why are you concerned with them taking the rest of your guns away? My point is, hey, guess what? The Second Amendment was put into place so that a civilian could have the same type of firepower as any infantryman, so that he could at least fight off the people that were coming to take his stuff from the government. It's so that he can fight off the government.
It's just...
Do you not understand the government? So everybody talks about how it's, in the Second Amendment, it says for a militia.
A well-regulated
militia. Right? Well, what is a well-regulated militia? A well-regulated militia is not the military.
No.
It is a civilian force. People who are citizens that come together in a group to fight off a government power.
To defend
their land, to defend their country, to defend their
stuff.
Their stuff. That is a militia.
Yes.
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 Okay. That means every person.
Every person.
Every person. Every person over the legal age that is considered a citizen should know, have, and be able to operate effectively a firearm.
You're right, because that was one of the things that... Was it the Japanese? That's why the Japanese did never attack directly with foot soldiers.
Right.
Like they said that in
Russia. That's why
Russia too. Yeah, they're like, Americans have guns. We don't know who has them, who has access to them, where they're at. I'm not walking into that. Are you out of your mind? That's dumb.
You think we're stupid? No.
Yeah.
That's why Russia never did the whole. That's Red Scare and everything. What was that movie back from the 80s with the red? I forget. Anyway,
I have no idea.
Oh, they just
there's so many of them.
They did a remake of it where it's like small town and the high school jock is the hero, where he gets,
Breakfast Club.
No, that's not. That's not. It's Red something. I forgot.
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. No.
Hunt for Red October.
No, that's Sean Connery. It's not. Anyway. That scenario is painted in our minds, these like small towns and everything like that, where the Soviet Union would drop in and try to take over militarily. Well, they never actually did that, even though they did have those plans, because of the fact that we, as civilians, have weapons.
Yep.
And so they never knew if they were actually going to be able to take over, because that was a loose cannon. They would never they couldn't predict what the American populace would do. They know what the military can do, but they couldn't predict what the American citizens could do.
Yep. And now they're literally trying to get rid of that.
You know what? Actually, I have common sense gun control. I have the best law for common sense gun control.
I would love to hear this. Regale me.
Okay. It's very simple. I've already said it in this show.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Oh, so now we get to play a guessing game.
No.
Okay. No.
I've already said it in this show.
Okay.
It's very simple. You are required by the age of 18 to learn, know, and prove that you can handle a firearm effectively and safely before you can vote.
I can say I like it, but it's
I like it.
I do, but at the same time, there are just certain people in certain areas.
In order for the Second Amendment to stay in place so that we continue to have our rights and freedoms, you are necessarily dictated in this one way, that you should know.
Yeah, but then it's no longer a freedom. But then it's not a freedom.
No. You should know how to. Not that you have to have one. But
No,
you
no,
should
but
know how.
no, and I agree with that. But like that part, like,
You
but
have
that
the freedom of
it needs to go.
having it or
Look,
not.
no, and that is it
And
needs
it's
to
not
go.
a freedom, by the way.
It
It's
would
a
need,
right.
Well, not well.
There's a difference.
Yeah, it
And
would need
this
to go
right
back
needs to be
to.
protected.
We would need to go back to like what we did. If you're going to do it like that, then we need to go back to like it was in the schools, where you actually had, gun shooting classes and things like that. That's
of
what
course.
you would
That's
go
what I'm talking
for.
about. I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
going
yeah.
for that. High school, you'd have, rifle club.
Yeah, that was it. Sorry, this is the homeschooler talking. I have no idea what the
You don't
schools
know
are.
what this is. And that was well before our age anyway. But you'd have rifle club. You'd have guns allowed in school again. I remember my dad telling me, and guys that I work with, they'd have rifles in the back of their trucks just sitting there, like hanging in the window.
Most of
all
those
the
guys,
time.
though, were just redneck country boys who would turn around. Hey, I'm going to leave school. I'm going to go hunting.
My dad was not a redneck, by the way.
Well,
He was from Baltimore.
Oh, well, my people were. But anyway.
Your people were.
My people were. I digress.
Are we going to your people now?
We are. It's my people.
That's not good.
But anyway, we could go on this all night, and we may dive back into it in a little bit. But we might, but we're getting ready to take a break. And on the other side, we have got a wonderful guest. We're going to introduce y'all to candidate running in Wisconsin against Paul Ryan.
Really?
Yeah. Could be good.
I like it.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
Y'all are going to love this guy. But we'll be right back. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. We are live on Facebook. And you find us at DOA Show, at Twitter at DOA Show, patreon.com/DOA Show.
YouTube at DOA Show.
I'm, again, noticing a trend.
I think it's pretty simple.
The joy of unity, uniformity. It's a beautiful,
it's really nice.
Beautiful
I
thing.
like it so much.
Yeah, we have a special guest, something that Steven and I have been trying to do. If y'all haven't noticed and haven't caught on to the trend, we are getting ready to run into primary / just generalized election season. And something that Steven and I have decided we wanted to start doing is start bringing you guys the new candidates that are up and running, people that we have talked to that we kind of like and would love to introduce to you guys. We started off with Alan Chesser, who was running Congress in our district.
Yep.
We had, was it last week or the week before, we had Liz Mattori running in Baltimore.
Yep.
And tonight, we have another one that I met at CPAC, be Nick Pulse, running for Congress in Wisconsin's first district against Paul Ryan. Nick, how are you doing tonight, bud?
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
It's been trying to get you on for a little bit. We've been dancing back and forth with the schedules, but we
know how
made
things
it. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So do us a favor. Like I said, we're trying to bring you to people who might be in your area or people who want to support you, but kind of give everybody Reader's Digest. Who is Nick Poles?
Okay, real quick. So I'm running, like you guys mentioned, I'm running in the Republican primary in Wisconsin's 1st District against Paul Ryan. Real quick snapshot of me. Spent 11 and a half years on active duty. I enlisted shortly after 9/11 to join the U.S. Army Green Berets. Multiple deployments overseas during that time. Got to work with some of the best men and women that America has to offer. Got out in 2014. I've been a small business owner the last 4 years. Run a small security consulting firm with a couple other partners. Married. I got one son, 16 months old. That's why I'm broadcasting from the basement tonight. And that little man needs his sleep, otherwise he's a bear. So I've been banished to the basement.
Yes,
I understand.
I know the feeling very well myself. Very, very well myself. So one of the big questions that we like to tend to ask is, what was it specifically, if you can, care to share, what was the big thing that drove you, that made you decide, I want to run. I want to try and be elected into office to try and help, instill some change. What was that point for you?
Two things. The first was the birth of my son, and it really brought me into a different part of my life. And I no longer was thinking about just me and just my wife. We started looking at our son and wanted to prepare for the future. So that was number one. The second thing was the experiences overseas in the military and in the special operations community really gave me an inside view, a much deeper understanding of the way the federal government works, both from the foreign policy side of the house and then also from the monetary. And those two things combined, I saw we're on the wrong track. And it's time for our generation to step up and take action and start to remove members of the political class that aren't working for us. They're not
Absolutely. So, all right. So, what would be, if you had to pick one topic or one agenda piece, what is your one thing that if you leave Congress, you get elected, you're in, and it's time and you leave. If you don't get anything else done, what is the one thing that you have to get done? Yeah, your point, your big one. What is that?
I like to usher in a new era of individuals that get to Washington, work for a few years, and then leave. The whole concept of the citizen statesman has been lost. We have career politicians that believe that they go there and their job is to rule. And that's totally backwards from how this country was founded. Because the greatness of this country is not in Washington. The greatness of this country is found scattered throughout the 50 states and 300+ million people. So if we could get a new wave of individuals in there that understand that respect the Constitution, and it will self-limit, that would be a big accomplishment for us and the other guys and girls that are running with similar mindsets.
Absolutely.
So term limits is a big deal for you.
Yes. Yep.
See.
So what type of term limits are you talking here?
Well, one of the things that we're running on is 6 years. 6 years in the House, 6 years in the Senate is what if we could be king for a day, what we would ultimately like to get done. And I draw that 6 years not out of thin air, but from my time in the special operations community, and I saw it work very, very well in the cycle. And that cycle was focused on leadership, preparing the next generation of leaders to take your place when a new guy shows up to a team. And that's the thing that we need at Washington too, because we've lost the concept of leadership, where that individual creates new leaders. People go there and there's too much me, I, look how great I am.
Exactly. Well, okay, so one of the things that and I'm sure you were catching on a little bit earlier, our little topic. So the was that HR 5087, the possible gun ban bill?
Yeah, that guy
coming across there. What are your thoughts? Have you had a chance to look into that?
I did hear about it. I haven't read I heard you guys a little bit earlier talking about it. Got introduced today.
Yeah.
I haven't read the actual bill, but I understand the concept of what they're trying to get across. And there's roughly 150 or so co-sponsors.
Something like that, yeah.
Something silly like that. So totally against that. And the Second Amendment's clear. We got the right to keep and bear arms.
Absolutely.
The reason is why. And we've and I said, you guys understand it. A lot of us that respect the Second Amendment understand it. But what happened at the time in history was the founders recognized weapons in the hands of the few lead to the oppression of the many.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is why we have the Second Amendment.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's exactly it. Now, I noticed that on your Tuesday show, the biggest thing that you were talking about was the omnibus spending bill and getting things situated with that. What would be your solution to the omnibus spending bill? Because obviously it's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. And so while you guys asked about term limits, that's huge. Spending is our biggest threat because it's both a domestic economic issue and it's also a national security issue. So it's a dual-edged sword. So that the answer to the omnibus, first and foremost, is to go back to how we're supposed to be doing appropriation bills, which is each appropriation bill, which is funding a certain part of the government, should get an up or down vote. What the leadership's choosing to do, and this is a problem both on the Democrat and the Republican side, is they're choosing to take all those appropriation bills, lump them into one bill, and then say, hey, if we don't pass this omnibus bill, the Department of Defense isn't going to get funded, or we're going to shut down the government. And that's a choice the political class is making. So we have to get people in Washington that will actually serve and will get these appropriation bills up and down vote.
Yeah, to get a balanced budget amendment would be nice as well.
Well, so basically what you're saying is instead of doing an omnibus, if they actually took it and broke it up into pieces and say, this is how much we're spending on the government, yes or no, and this is how much we're spending, or not the government, but the military, yes or no, this is how much we're going to spend on domestic, yes or no, and then break it down into whatever we need to, we wouldn't have this issue or the situation where you have President Trump deciding that he is going to threaten line veto, which is something he can't do in the first place. That's legislating from the executive office.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense to me that this guy what he's doing and everything else. But
delightful.
So is that kind of where you're going with that, where you want to make sure that everything is itemized, individualized, and separated so that we can actually vote down what's bad and vote up what's good?
Right, because then you're going to hold the elected officials accountable for their votes, because they can dance and hide into a larger omnibus bill, and they can put these extra provisions in and increase spending. And the second part of it is getting individuals to Congress that respect the Constitution, that are pro-freedom and are pro-limited government, and understand that it's our money that they're spending. It's
Absolutely.
Not, government doesn't have any money it first doesn't take from the private sector.
Exactly. Well, that is one of the main things, right? It comes from our wallet to their pocket.
Yeah, and then we get all excited when they give us back our money.
That's right.
Oh my goodness!
So we go from a little bit of spending to healthcare.
Yep.
Healthcare.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say. That was my big one.
That's big here as well as I'm guessing where you are. Tell us what's going on with that.
Yeah, so that's it. That's something that we hear consistently, where premiums are continuing to go up, costs are going up across the board, no matter what part of the state you're in, and even no matter what part of the country that you're in. And that's a big question to get. What do we do? How do we stop this massive increase? And yeah, I mean, that's a good question. There's lots of things that we can do. Our representative elected officials are choosing not to do them. And I think it's because they lose some of the control, and now there's less for them to offer.
Yeah.
And again, another reason we want to get to Washington is because we want to strip some of the power from the federal government and empower individuals at the state and the local level. That's what the role of the government is supposed to do. Is you're just supposed to set the parameters and allow freedom to prosper.
Gotcha. And that is one of the best things. Just kind of set the parameters, get a guideline, and say, here, bare bones minimum. You guys do the rest. Take it from here, sort of thing.
Exactly.
It's just supposed to be a protective structure in which our free market capitalism can actually roam as free as possible.
Right. Weird how that would be.
I know, right? It's
working out.
I don't even understand.
Yeah,
actually following the Constitution. Holy smokes! That's why they wrote that.
I wonder what.
Just individuals solving problems and trading, and without the limitations and without a centralized control telling you how you're supposed to trade.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
It's amazing how that works out.
We had a little birdie tell us that Paul Ryan is potentially going to be stepping down as speaker. I see that as a little bit of an omen. He's trying to get out. He's trying to get he's trying to go into a different way, and I think it might be a push into him stopping. Him not actually going down the road of back through the election cycle, trying to be a senator again. I think he's trying to go a different route altogether. What say you? on the despot that is Paul Ryan.
Well, that is. There's the rumor mill. I think it came out over the weekend. One of the representatives out in Nevada stoked that rumor mill again. Yeah, it's unknown. I mean, if you talk here in the district, everybody's expecting him to run again in 2018. Who knows? We're running regardless of whether he walks away or he doesn't, because we have to get to Washington. We're running out of time, and people there, and I'm one of the guys to get there to start to put things into place that you work for the people of your district. You don't rule over them.
Absolutely,
and that's something that's forgotten.
Absolutely. So when does the primary run for you?
So the primary is August 14th. We are about 5 months away. We kicked off the campaign back in November 17th. We're basically about the halfway point right now.
Nice. Okay.
And where can people come and find you if they want to donate, they want to help, they want to speak to you? How can they find you?
Sure. So we got a couple of different means. We got on Twitter. We're at Nick for House, WI, so WI like in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Facebook, Nick Polls for Congress. And then our website is Nick Polls for Congress.
There you go.
Outstanding.
Now in our in the Facebook section in our information, we also have Nick Pulse for Congress on there, so you can go to our information section on the Facebook page. You can find it there. It's already linked up and everything available for you. If you do find him on Twitter, like him, share. Like I said, he has every Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah, every Tuesday we have a Tuesday talk, 4:00 Central, where we talk policy, specific policy issues.
Gotcha.
Outstanding. Well, and any idea what you want to give us a sneak peek into this coming Tuesdays? Speak up, or
we're actually looking at one or two things. We're looking at immigration, or we're looking at talking about the Second Amendment gun control. It just depends what happens throughout the rest of the week. Now you got to talk about this new bill, so we may have to do a deep dive into the Second Amendment.
See, if you're going to do that, then we have like a minute and a half. Let's talk about immigration real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Just real quick, like what's your take on we'll start with illegal immigration first.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at with that?
So it's our responsibility as elected officials to protect our citizens, to put the interests of Americans first. Bottom line. And the second part of that is we got to secure the border. We have to do that. We have a lot of incentives right now that encourage illegal immigration, and we have to change those incentives.
Yep.
One of the larger problems I see with immigration is the system is broken because of decisions made by elected officials to have certain carve-outs, like with H-1B visa. They had that in the early 90s. It was supposed to plug a hole, and of course the law of unintended consequences kicked in, where they couldn't anticipate all the changes that we would have in our economy. Yeah. So now there's a massive loophole that we refuse to fix. Gotcha. And it doesn't seem like anybody at the congressional level wants to do anything about immigration.
Yeah,
no, it really doesn't seem like they want to.
That was a good peek in there like that. I've already gotten tickled. It's like, hey! I'm going to keep doing more, but I know you're going to dive into it more. Again, you could find him. What was the address? Your website one more time?
The website is my first name, Nick, last name, pulseforcongress.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nick Pulse, I really appreciate you coming on. We will have you back on again very, very soon. Right, if there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll stay in touch, and we will try and get you to Washington, brother.
All right. Thanks for the help. Thanks for bringing me on today, and we'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
See you
Thank
again
you.
next time, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. You guys, hold on. Don't go anywhere. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back on the other side. You are listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Oh, I gotta have some water or something.
Get some water.
I'm all tingly.
You're all tingly.
We'll catch y'all on the other side. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
And welcome back, folks. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. Live on Facebook at DOAE Show, Twitter at DOAE Show,
YouTube at DOA Show,
Patreon.com/DOAE
Show.
Yeah.
Go to
Very,
Patreon.
very easy. You have no excuses.
Go to Patreon. Become a patron.
Get some swag.
Get some swag.
Got some cool swag we're trying to get rid of.
Yes, we do.
It sounds bad. We're trying to get rid of it.
It's true.
But yeah, no.
Take it.
Yeah. Also, please like, share. Make sure you share the stuff with your friends, family, anybody that you, like I said, like, don't like. Doesn't matter if you think they'll like us, don't like us.
If
share
they don't,
it anyway.
Great. Let them know. And when you do share it, share our email address so that if they really don't like it, they can talk to us and they don't have to yell at you.
Or Twitter. Tell them.
Or Twitter,
give our stuff a Twitter. I don't care.
Our Twitter or anything like that. I've been getting a little bit more active on the Twitter.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
I'm still learning, so
it's fun times actually. Apparently, I got into I jumped into a Twitter war that was going on between one of the Parkland students from the CNN thing.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of other people that just recently started following us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, apparently I jumped in on one of that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know it until afterwards. I was like, oh, it's one of the kids.
Oh, well, isn't that magical?
Isn't that special?
Isn't that special?
Isn't it Satan?
No. No, we're not playing that game.
Come on.
But yes, good times.
Great
Times. Almost as good as what we're diving into next. I'm going to warn every one of y'all.
This is a trigger warning.
Y'all are going to need to get duct tape.
Trigger warning.
Because somebody's head's about to explode.
And it might be his.
And it might be mine. Read the headline. Oh, my God. I would if you didn't blow it up. This is from Planned Parenthood, who is obviously our favorite. No, I can't even say that with a straight face. I can't even say that. Well, let's put it like this:
our favorite
Planned Parenthood is who we go to for all the important things that involve children, right? I mean, that's when you hear Planned Parenthood, the first thing you think of is everything to do with children.
Yeah, currently right now,
mostly it's the murder of said children, but
recently, in fact, I've started looking at a lot of things and hearing things, and suddenly, when I think of Planned Parenthood, I think of Planned Parenthood International, where they're in Africa doing illegal abortions, where the 50 out of 54 countries have it completely illegal for all abortions, and yet they're in there
doing abortions
illegally. Also, they're funding giant billboards for condoms instead of abstinence.
Oh, well, that's
because, most cultures in Africa are very traditional in their ways, and abstinence has been taught. And, they had the highest rates of, AIDS and HIV and stuff like that for a really, really long time.
Yep.
Then they started teaching abstinence again, and it dropped dramatically. And now they're pushing for condoms.
Of course they are.
I don't get it.
Of course they are. Well, Planned Parenthood has shown its
head. Ugly head.
So they decided apparently that, again, since they seem to be apparently all things children, albeit murdering them, but still,
all things.
I guess they figure they have
all the small things.
I guess they feel they have the market cornered on everything children.
True care.
Shut up. I'm ignoring it for a reason. So apparently they put out a tweet as a suggestion.
And then they promptly deleted it.
Yes, and thank God it was screenshotted. But
because nothing dies on the internet.
Dies. Planned Parenthood apparently has suggested Disney to have a princess.
A Disney princess who has an abortion.
Yeah, to have an abortion.
And a Disney princess who's pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
Also a Disney princess who is an undocumented immigrant. A Disney princess who's actually a union worker.
Wait a minute.
How can they be a princess and
How can you be a princess and a union worker?
We need a Disney princess who's trans.
Now,
okay, stop. Wait, I got this one. Okay, trans. We had Little Mermaid. She's a trans fish.
Well done.
Well done. She is transitioning from fish.
Yeah, you were absolute. Bravo. I really didn't even think of that one. That's a good
We're
one.
done there.
No, you're done.
You're done.
Let's see, the union worker. I'm pretty sure if we go down this list, we can find.
Union worker, no. We probably can't do that. Undocumented immigrant?
No, Cinderella. Cinderella was the princess who was an actual union worker.
I thought she was a union leader, not a worker.
No, she was, well.
Same difference, right?
Yeah, maybe. She might have been a teamster. And she's just whistling at them birds and them get them birds and them mice to do whatever that she needs to do.
See. Undocumented immigrant? Could we... Oh, that's also Little Mermaid. She was undocumented. Completely. So she's
I was going to say Pocahontas.
Well, no, because she was here. She's native born.
Oh.
She can't be
Good
undocumented
point.
and native born.
Good point.
That would be John Smith.
That would be John Smith.
But if we're talking about princesses...
That's true.
If we're talking about princesses, Little Mermaid has 2.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
So, pro-choice, technically, it depends on what you're talking about by choice.
That would be
If you're talking about pro-murder...
Nala from Lion King.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. And one that had an abortion.
Now, that one I don't think they have.
They don't have that yet.
But they're working on it.
But they're working on it. You know what probably would have? Who would have?
Who? Are we going to give it to Ariel, too?
No.
Just because they're living in the ocean? And
No, Elsa probably would. Because she wouldn't want to pass down that Snow Queen gene. Might give the kid frostbite.
It's either that or it would be either that or it would have been like Jasmine from Aladdin.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No, she can't have that because she's in the Middle East.
Yeah, I guess that would be more of a mercy. Was it not? Is it mercy killing that they do?
That's
yeah,
mercy killing.
Mercy killing.
And she would be the one being killed.
And they didn't suggest it, so we can't play it off.
Can't
of
do it.
So.
No, it wouldn't work out.
But yeah, so this is this is their suggestion to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not for nothing, Disney is not exactly swinging for the fence lately.
No, they're actually 0 for like 10.
Yeah, but to turn around and to actually, and the sad part about it is I have this really bad feeling that this might actually, and maybe not all of them, but because again, there's no way on God's green earth that you could have a princess be a union worker.
Really,
you can't.
In all actuality,
it doesn't.
I mean, you got really close to it.
Literally doesn't make sense. It's an impossibility to be both a princess and a union worker.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Snow White.
No, but she still would have been a leader too at that point, wouldn't she?
No, she was cooking and cleaning in the house.
That's true. So it's either Snow White or Cinderella.
She was the housekeeper.
And actually,
Seven Dwarves.
Well,
you know what? She would have probably done that.
The abortion. Yeah, she might have.
They would have done it to her.
The whole time she's laying there asleep, they're like, "I got this."
And
Dopey Dopey the coat hanger.
And Dopey gave her.
No. But anyway,
Dopey doo.
I again, Disney's not exactly like the poster child of what it used to be. I mean, Disney used to be the representation of the nuclear family, and now it's
sort of. I mean, not really.
Well, but I mean,
Genie, poof, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need?
Hello there, guys. Okay, but the idea that they would actually put it out there, it just and bear in mind these again. Planned Parenthood receives $500 billion in government funding.
Yeah, like I said, so that's our government funding.
We're paying for this.
Yes, we're paying for these idiots. Just saying. Just saying.
It bothers me to no end. And again, what scares me is coming over the horizon, whether anybody wants to accept it and believe it or not, there will eventually be a Disney princess movie who will be trans, or there will be a Disney princess movie.
Technically, there already is.
Yeah, I'm talking legit, though.
I'm talking about technically there already is.
What?
I can't remember the name of it, but it was on like the Disney Kids channel, and it was a princess who was a boy. I'm not joking. This was already part of it. This is already there. I can't remember the name of it, but I know it happened because it was a big outrage.
I'm telling you, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. They're trying to make it common because it was what the Roseanne show apparently came back on.
Yeah,
yesterday.
The 7-year-old
and the kid is apparently is gender fluid or something.
No, well, if you go by what the directors say, they say that the kid is just wearing girl clothes. The boy is just wearing girl clothes.
See,
he's too young to identify as anything.
All I saw, like I just happened to be in a place where it was on the TV, but I couldn't hear the dialogue.
Brad has us.
What does Brad have us?
Mulan.
Yeah, but no, but that can't count because that was only temporary until she got caught, and then she went back to being a girl.
Man out of you.
Fine.
He got it.
Fine, I'll give it to him. Fine, I'll give it to him.
He did it.
There's no point in arguing. It's because it does make sense. It's.
I don't care that you were pretending.
And you reverted back later.
Yeah, but actually that's gender fluidity.
Yeah, but who ever thought for a second that of all the places to get a suggestion or to take a suggestion for a Disney movie, Planned Parenthood, really that's going to be the top of your list?
They're going to be the ones. Now, let me ask you this. In all of this talk about Planned Parenthood and everything else, you know what's a good thing? Not about them.
Oh, I was going to say, you're not exactly leaving the door wide open for me there, are you?
No. See, in Indiana, a governor has just signed a historic pro-life bill.
Outstanding. And what would this bill do?
Basically, it says that killing unborn babies is murder.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
This is from the Daily Wire, and that was the headline. So, here we go. American abortion laws are one giant case study in cognitive dissidence.
Of course.
If a pregnant woman is murdered, laws in some of the most liberal states call it double homicide. However, if a woman were to terminate that same child, yes, air quotes, just moments before, it's called empowerment. Mm-hmm. Trying to bring some sanity into the bizarre equation, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb signed a law on Sunday, allowing for murder charges to be brought against unborn babies who are victims of secondary violence, according to Life News.
Senate Bill 203 was introduced into Senate by Senator Aaron Freeman, after a woman in his district lost her daughter and unborn grandchild to homicide. Quote, if someone kills a pregnant woman, they should not be tried for her death, but also the death of the fetus, a quote Freeman said, according to Fox 59 News.
Charges of murder, manslaughter, and feticide could be brought against a suspect under the new law, which could increase sentencing up by 6 to 20 years. Pro-life leaders in Indiana wholly welcome the new law. Indiana Right to Life called it a step forward in the rights of unborn children. Basically, this law is not talking about abortions itself, but it is talking about the unborn child is definitely a life, and killing it is a bad thing.
Yeah, no, and it's going to start changing things, and it's going to start affecting the Planned Parenthoods of Indiana, because if killing a baby is killing an unborn is murder,
then it's murder,
which means every Planned Parenthood in Indiana is about to be in a lot of trouble.
And if they regulate this and they say as a secondary effect, which is what this is, as a secondary effect, the abortion is the primary effect. The secondary effect is the death of the unborn child.
Yep. That's originally where this bill is trying to focus on. Basically, it's the whole if the killing of a child is murder. Mm-hmm. Like you said in the beginning, if you kill the mom and thereby killing the baby, you get double homicide. It's just a matter of maintaining consistency. That's all it is.
Yep,
we're exactly right. Trying to be consistent, and yet, just like in everything else, naturally the pro-abortion hates law, calling it a camel's nose under the tent that targets abortions, even though as many as 29 states, including far left California, have similar laws on the books.
Yes, basically saying that if you kill a pregnant woman, you are double homicide.
Exactly.
So their biggest issue with this is that, well, it means that the life inside of the womb is actually a life. And
Weird.
to them, that is not the case. I don't know how they think that. It's just
what else is it going to be?
Well, it's obviously not a life.
And yet, science has proven that even at conception, there's a spark.
Literal
Spark
of life.
It's
a chemical reaction.
It was on the. We did the show on this. I have pictures and joke. Like everything is there. Like it's there.
It was a spark.
It's there. It's science. Apparently, is only science and works out to be science until it doesn't back up what their theory is, and then it's no longer science.
It's no longer science.
Like global warming.
So did you hear? Speaking of science, they found the world the largest human organ.
I did.
Finally,
I did.
It's underneath the epidermis.
Which I'm sorry. But again, these are the same people that are going to tell me that in 2093 it's going to be 173 degrees outside.
Yes.
Because of my car.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes.
Shut up.
And they know that for certain.
Yeah, and they know that for certain, but they just now found an organ. How long have people been doing medicine?
How long have they been studying the human body?
How long have they been doing surgeries and cutting people? How long have they literally cut people open?
About 150 years. That they've been actually cutting and studying. Most of the time when they embalm somebody, it's just embalming. But cutting, studying, and everything, about 150 years.
But they know in another 150 years from now exactly
what the temperature
is going to be, how high the sea levels are going to be, and
to the T.
To the T.
In seconds, in time, everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jack wagons. Consistency, people. That's all I'm asking for. It's just a teensy bit of consistency.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to.
So the consensus is that we're all going to die a burning, raging fire because of our cars. It's also consensus that a baby, because it's
just a clump of
in
cells.
a place about 2 inches one direction, it's a clump of cells.
Yeah. Which is weird how that works out.
It's like 2 inches one direction, it's a clump of cells. 2 inches the other direction, it's a baby and a life.
I wonder if we can ever get a bill passed that, because one of the arguments I can't stand when it comes to the abortion thing is how a woman has a right. It's her body. It's her decision.
It's not her body.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Of her body. That's what I was getting ready. Exactly it. I wonder if we can get a bill to recognize that an unborn baby is its own body. And separate from that of the mother.
Well, they've already proven that genetically it is a very different thing. I understand what you're going.
We know
with
they've proven that. They've also proven that they just found another organ that they didn't know was there
in the human body. That they've been studying for 150 years.
But 150 years from now, they know the temperature to the T.
Exactly.
Shut up. I'm tired of this crap, dude.
We have freaking lasers.
And sharks with freaking lasers attached to their freaking heads.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. That's how it is.
That is how it is. Well, that's your government at work. They passing stupid bills. Oh, and BT Dubs, the whole discussion we had earlier with the Second Amendment. We didn't even read the wonderful tweet from the president. The president basically said earlier this morning that how the Second Amendment isn't going anywhere. Don't worry about it. We're going to have it forever. Blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the other.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Mm-hmm. The Second Amendment will never be repealed. As much as Democrats would like to see this happen, and despite the words yesterday of former Supreme Court Justice Stevens, no way. We need more Republicans in 2018 and must always hold the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And then they push this bill out.
Yeah, and then they push the bill out. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little bit terrified now.
Because
he'll sign
when
virtually
Trump
anything.
says that's like, oh no, he definitely has his job. Don't worry about his job.
Fired. Anyway.
Right.
Facebook DOAE Show, Twitter DOAE Show, Patreon.com/DOAE Show.
YouTube DOAE Show.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We will see y'all Saturday, 9 p.m. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you then. Have a good week. Bye-bye.